Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the greatest discovery in life isn't something you find in books or hidden in some faraway land, but something that has always been within you? Yes, the greatest discovery in life is this. You have the power to change your life by changing yourself. So many people spend their entire lives waiting for the right time, the right person, the right opportunity. They believe that life will get better when something or someone outside of them changes. But the truth is, transformation doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when you do. The greatest discovery in life is that you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You have the ability to change your mindset, your habits, your destiny, and ultimately your liberating. Because it means the power is also yours. When you shift your focus from blaming to building, from waiting to working, everything begins to shift around you. It's not magic, it's momentum. Real growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the moment you look in the mirror and decide, I am not going to live this way anymore. It comes from the courage to let go of excuses and take ownership of your life. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I learn? What can I do? Who can I become? That's the spark. That's the moment everything changes. Not because life became easier, but because you become stronger. And that moment, when you realize the power to change your life has always lived inside you, is the greatest discovery you will ever make. We often look at successful, confident, or fulfilled people and assume that they had something we didn't. Maybe they were born with natural talent, better opportunities, or the right connections, and because of that belief, we start to wait. We wait for life to get easier, for someone to rescue us, or for circumstances to finally fall in our favor. But here is the hard truth. Nothing outside of you can truly change your life until something changes inside you. External changes may bring temporary results, but lasting transformation, the kind that redefines your identity and reshapes your future, always starts from within. When you depend solely on the outside world to validate or uplift you, you give away your power. You begin to think that if people don't appreciate you, you aren't worthy. If situations don't go your way, you've failed. But life doesn't work like that. The world reflects what you believe about yourself. If you see yourself as limited, the world will show you more limits. But if you begin to believe that you are capable, worthy, and enough, the world starts to respond to that belief. The greatest shifts happen not when the world around you changes, but when you bring your full self to the table. They're your own opinion, and your mindset is the foundation of your reality. On the other hand, if you speak differently, you approach challenges differently. Can gentle instruction easy to move differently? You start to move differently. 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 That's why personal transformation is not about pretending to be someone else. It's about becoming who you truly are, underneath the doubt, fear, and conditioning. Think about a caterpillar. It doesn't become a butterfly by changing its environment. It transforms from within. The entire process happens in darkness, in silence, and often without recognition, but it emerges completely changed. Human growth works the same way. The most meaningful changes often happen in quiet moments of decision, when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when you make a choice to show up for yourself anyway. That's inner transformation. Slow, silent, powerful. Most people try to rearrange the outside to fix what's broken on the inside. They change jobs, relationships, cities, hoping it will solve the discomfort they feel. And sometimes change is good. But if you don't do the inner work, the same patterns will follow you wherever you go. A change in location can't heal a wounded mindset. A new relationship can't replace self-love. No amount of success will ever fill a soul that believes it's not enough. Until you change the way you see yourself, nothing you change outside will feel like enough. True transformation demands honesty. It requires you to look in the mirror and face the parts of you that you often avoid. It's not always glamorous. It's raw and difficult. You may have to confront your fears, your limiting beliefs, and your deepest insecurities. But here's the beauty. The same space where those fears exist is also where your strength lives. When you begin to challenge what you once accepted as truth about yourself, about your worth, about your potential, you start the process of becoming who you were meant to be. And once you begin that inner journey, you realize that you don't need to wait for life to change. You can change the way you live. You no longer need permission to grow. You don't need applause to take action. You stop reacting to life and start responding with clarity and intention. That inner shift is what turns struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and fear into fuel. And the best part? No one can take that away from you because it doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. So when people ask, how did you change your life? The real answer isn't luck or money or some life hack. The real answer is simple. You changed your mind. You changed your beliefs. You changed yourself, and everything else followed. From an early age, many of us are made to believe that our past defines us, that the mistakes we've made, the failures we've faced, or the pain we've endured have permanently shaped who we are. We carry our history like a burden, allowing guilt, regret, or trauma to whisper lies into our present. But here is the liberating truth. Your past is a chapter, not the whole story. It is not the definition of who you are. It is only a description of what you've been through. The moment you realize that the power lies not in where you've been, but in where you choose to go, you begin to reclaim your life. People often let their past limit their potential. They say, I've always been like this, or this is just how I am, as if they are bound by the chains of former versions of themselves. But you are not a fixed identity. You are a living, growing, evolving being. Every day offers a new page. You are not the person you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or even 5 minutes ago. And that means you don't have to keep living by old patterns, old fears, or old expectations. You have the right and the responsibility to evolve. The past can teach you, but it should never imprison you. Yes, you may have made choices you regret. You may have trusted the wrong people, hurt others, or betrayed your own values. But that does not mean you are unworthy of healing or growth. What defines you is not your scars, but your willingness to rise above them. You are allowed to outgrow who you were. You are allowed to break cycles. You are allowed to say that version of me didn't know better, but now I do. Every moment you face in the present is a chance to make a new decision. And decisions shape direction. One powerful, intentional choice can rewrite the trajectory of your life. Choosing courage over fear, forgiveness over bitterness, effort over excuse, growth over comfort. These aren't always easy choices, but they are yours. And when you begin to live with awareness, when you stop reacting based on your past and start responding based on who you want to become, that's when change begins. Your future doesn't have to look like your past unless you let it. If you keep telling yourself the same old story, I'm not smart enough, I always mess things up, I can't trust anyone, you will keep living inside those walls. But if you dare to tell yourself a new story, one where you are resilient, capable, and worthy, you open a door to a new reality. Stories shape identity. Change your story and you change your self-theme. Change yourself in you and you change your life. It's also important to understand that not everyone will see your growth. Some people will continue to treat you like the person you used to be. They will remind you of your mistakes, not your progress. But you must not let their memory of you limit the reality of who you are becoming. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that no longer exists. Your healing, your growth, and your choices are yours, and you don't need permission to move forward. Sometimes the hardest person to convince of your growth is yourself. You may look back at your past and feel shame or disappointment. But healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means learning. You are allowed to look at your past and say, that taught me something. You are allowed to forgive yourself. The road to self-acceptance is paved with grace. Grace for who you were and hope for who you are becoming. Every healed wound becomes a source of wisdom, and every right decision in the present builds a future you can be proud of. So remember this, you are not what happened to you. You are not your lowest moment. You are not defined by your failures, your past relationships, or your former identity. You are defined by what you do now, with this moment, this breath, this choice. And the most powerful thing you can ever realize is that your future begins the moment you stop living in your past. Every great achievement in history began with one simple thing: belief. Not resources, not perfection, not even a guarantee of success, just belief. Raw, fragile, yet incredibly powerful belief. When a person truly believes in themselves, they tap into a power that no external force can give or take away. It's that belief that becomes the foundation for resilience, courage, and progress. Without it, even the smallest obstacles feel like mountains. With it, even mountains become climbable. The world will always present challenges. You will face rejection, failure, disappointment, and uncertainty. These are part of life's terrain. But what determines whether you keep going or give up is not the size of the obstacle. It's the strength of your belief. When you believe in yourself, you start seeing problems as permanent. You start seeing them as temporary hurdles, not dead ends. It is this mindset that fuels perseverance when everything else seems to be falling apart. Self-belief isn't arrogance. It's not pretending you're perfect or never make mistakes. It's the quiet, unshakable knowing that No matter what happens, you will figure it out. That even if you fall, you will get back up. That you are resourceful, adaptable, and worthy of trying again. It's a form of self-trust. The ability to bet on yourself even when the outcome is uncertain. And that kind of trust is what separates those who wish for a better life from those who built one. Most people underestimate themselves. They talk themselves out of opportunities before they even try. They say things like, "I could never do that," or "I'm not good enough." These thoughts seem harmless, but over time, they build walls inside the mind. And those walls become the real obstacle. Not the world outside, but the doubt within. What's tragic is that people often give up not because they've failed, but because they believed they would before they even started. The moment you shift that internal narrative, you start telling yourself, at first, your invisible force, the turning ordinary achievers. Realize your ambition begin to explore. The moment you shift that invisible force, your life refuse the invisible. It's important to understand that self-belief must be built, just like muscle. You don't wake up one day brimming with confidence. It grows through experience, by doing the hard things, keeping promises to yourself, and proving day by day that you are capable. Each small win becomes a building block. Every time you step out of your comfort zone and survive, you reinforce that belief. And with time, it becomes your foundation, not your fantasy. You won't always feel confident. There will be days you question everything. They will make you, despite everything, when your own source of encouragement, when the world is silent, that inner fire, that belief that you matter, that belief that you. So when you face obstacles, remember they are not the end of the road. They are the test of your belief. And if you hold on to that belief, if you nurture it, protect it, and act on it, you'll discover that no barrier is greater than the strength already within you. Many people go through life waiting to find happiness. They say, "I'll be happy when I get that job," or "I'll feel confident once I lose weight," or "I'll feel successful when I earn more money." But the truth is, happiness, confidence, and success are not things you find. They are not buried treasures or random miracles. They are built consciously, patiently, and deliberately through the choices you make every single day. Happiness isn't a moment. It's a mindset. It's not about perfect circumstances, but about how you choose to respond to what life gives you. Some of the happiest people don't have the most, but they make the most of what they have. They've trained their minds to look for gratitude instead of lack, to find meaning in hardship, and to embrace the present instead of lack. That mindset doesn't happen by accident. It is built through awareness, discipline, and intentionality. Confidence works the same way. It's not something you're born with, it's something you earn. Each time you show up when it's uncomfortable, each time you speak up when it's scary, each time you don't quit when it would be easier to walk away, you are laying another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Success is often misunderstood. People think it's the outcome, a title, an amount of money, a certain level of fame or recognition. But success, real success, is a byproduct of consistent action, vision, discipline, and persistence. It's built through long nights, small steps, and unseen efforts. It's not given to the lucky, it's earned by the committed. And that process, though difficult, is what makes success meaningful. You can't find success any more than you can find strength without first enduring the weight of pressure. We live in a world of instant gratification where we expect quick fixes and overnight results. But anything that lasts must be built slowly. Just like a house needs a strong foundation, your emotional, mental, and spiritual life needs one too. You don't build happiness by chasing it. You build it by choosing peace, purpose, and presence every day. You don't build confidence by waiting for approval. You build it by taking bold steps regardless of how others see you. You don't build success by hoping. You build it by doing, day in, day out. What's empowering is knowing that this is in your control. You may not control every event in your life, but you can always control how you respond. You can choose to build instead of blame, to rise instead of retreat, to try again instead of give up. You are the builder, and your daily habits, thoughts, and decisions are your tools. What you do with them will determine the life you construct, not just for tomorrow, but for who you become today. Some days, building is hard. Some days you'll want to give up. And the result won't be instant, but it will be real. So don't wait to find the life you want. Build it, brick by brick, thought by thought, step by step. That's how happiness is lived, how confidence is forged, and how success is earned. Not in the future, but in the effort you give today. One of the most life-changing realizations a person can have is this: You are responsible for your life, not in a way that blames you for everything bad that's ever happened, but in a way that empowers you to shape everything that comes next. At first, this idea can feel heavy, even unfair. We want to believe that our circumstances, our past, or other people's actions are what hold us back. But the moment you accept full responsibility, not for what happened, but for how you respond to it, you take back your power. And in that moment, you become free. Taking responsibility doesn't mean carrying shame or guilt. It means recognizing that no one is coming to fix your life for you. No one is obligated to make you happy, heal your wounds, or hand you the opportunities you've been waiting for. That realization is not meant to discourage you. It's meant to liberate you. Because if you are the one in charge, then that means you don't have to wait. You can start now. You can create change, not someday, but today. When we refuse to take responsibility, we give our power away. Responsibility is the key that unlocks a door. As much as we stay in the mindset of I can't because they won't, and the give a neighbor solution, as far as we analyze, the real issue is past up until now. It says, I can't control what they did, but I can control what I do next. Owning your life means refusing to play the victim, even when it would be easy to. It means rising above excuses. It means saying, maybe I didn't choose the pain, but I choose what I become because of it. That kind of thinking isn't easy. It's incredibly hard. But it's the kind of thinking that transforms ordinary people into leaders, visionaries, people who take full responsibility, become unstoppable, not because life is easier for them, but because they've stopped waiting for someone else to make it easier. When you take ownership of your mindset, your habits, your goals, and your reactions, you begin to see the connection between your choices and your reality. You realize that success doesn't just happen. It's built by consistency. Peace isn't gifted. It's created by letting go. Growth doesn't appear. It's earned through effort. And suddenly the chaos of life begins to feel less overwhelming. Not because things outside of you are perfect, but because you've taken control of what's happening inside. Freedom isn't the absence of difficulty. It's the presence of responsibility. You are free when you stop waiting for the world to change and decide to change yourself. You are free when you no longer need permission to rise. You are free when you choose to be the author of your own story, even if you didn't choose how the story began. And the moment you realize that your life is not something that happens to you, but something you are actively shaping, that is the beginning of true freedom. This responsibility extends into every area of your life, your health, your mindset, your relationships, your goals. When you take ownership, you stop expecting others to fill your emotional gaps. You stop blaming the past for your present inaction. You begin to make decisions not based on your wounds, but based on your worth. And when you live like that, You don't just react to life, you lead it. So yes, responsibility can feel heavy. But what's heavier is regret. What's heavier is staying stuck in blame, in bitterness, in powerlessness. When you choose responsibility, you choose movement. You choose change. You choose the path forward, even if it's slow, even if it's hard. Because at least you know you're in control of the direction you're heading. We spend so much of our life searching for purpose, strength, confidence, peace, and direction. Often we look outside of ourselves, hoping someone or something will give us the missing piece we need to move forward. But the truth is, the power we're searching for isn't hidden in the world. It's already inside us. It has always been there. What holds most people back is not the lack of ability, but the lack of belief in that ability. The moment you truly believe in the strength already within you is the moment your entire life can begin to change. Every person is born with untapped potential. Inside of you is courage you haven't called on yet, talent you haven't fully explored, and resilience you haven't fully tested. Life doesn't always introduce you to your power gently. It often forces you into it. It puts you in situations that require you to rise, to stretch, to endure. And in doing so, it reveals what you're really made of. That strength, that clarity, that fire, it's yours. It's not something you need to go out and find. It's something you need to unlock. Belief is the first key to that lock. When you start to believe that you can, your actions begin to reflect it. Your back straightens, your voice strengthens, your decisions sharpen. You stop apologizing for existing and start living with purpose. It doesn't mean you'll always feel confident. Self-doubt will still whisper, but belief allows you to move anyway, to walk through fear instead of running from it. And with every step you take, your belief grows stronger. Because belief is fed by action. But belief without action is just a wish. It's not enough to know you have power. You have to use it. Too many people believe in their dreams but never act on them. They wait until they feel ready, until they feel worthy, until they have certainty. But those feelings don't come first. They come after you start, after you try, after you fail, and try again. Action is the catalyst. Action is the proof. It's how you show yourself that your power is not just a thought, but a force. You don't need permission to take that first step. You don't need to be perfect or fearless or certain. You just need to begin. You build it step by step, choice by choice. And yes, there will be voices, internal and external, that tell you you are not enough, that you are not ready, that your dreams are too big, or your background too small. But those voices don't define you. They only win if you believe them. The real question is, what voice will you choose to believe? The one that limits you or the one that calls you higher? Because whichever one you feed is the one that grows. And your power grows the moment you stop shrinking to fit the doubts around you. When you realize that everything you need is already inside you, your ability to grow, to adapt, to rise, you stop looking for rescue and start building your own rescue. You stop playing small. You stop waiting to be chosen. You start showing up as someone who is already worthy, already powerful, already enough. Not because the world told you so, but because you decided to believe it. And more importantly, you decided to act on it. So many people spend their whole lives waiting to feel ready, never realizing that they're already equipped, that they're not lacking, they're just hesitating. The truth is, you are more powerful than you've been led to believe. And when you stop doubting and start deciding, when you stop waiting and start moving, when you stop hoping and start building, that's when your life begins to change. Not because something new was added, but because you finally activated what was already inside you. So what is the greatest discovery in life? It is not a secret hidden in the mountains or a treasure buried in the ground. It is the realization that everything you need to transform your life is already inside you, not your past, not your pain, not your circumstance. When you understand that your happiness can be built, that your confidence can be developed, and that your success can be earned, when you believe in your ability to rise, to change, and to lead your own life, you are no longer just surviving, you are creating, you are growing, you are becoming. The world may challenge you, people may doubt you, life may try to break you. But once you discover your inner power, once you stop waiting and start acting, you become unstoppable. So don't wait for a miracle. Be the miracle. Don't wait for someone to show you your worth. Know it. Own it. Live it. Because the greatest discovery in life is not finding something new. It's realizing who you've been all along. Thank you.